One more time. There we go. Okay. Welcome back to the Street Shaman Podcast. I am your host, Shamanic Poe, aka Poe and the Rockstar. And today I'm here with cognitive behavioral therapist, relationship psychologist, and hypnotherapist, AG from Girl Next Door. How you doing? How you been?
Hi, I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's just really nice to be here.
No doubt, no doubt. So so yeah, you have a channel as well, right? Girl Next Door Concept.
I do.
Um, what made you go on that path? What made you even want to be all those things that are a mouthful that took me like all morning to try to figure out how I was going to say properly? Like, how are you a cognitive behavioral therapist? Like, what started you off with all that?
Okay, that's a good one. So honestly, the main reason is because I used to be very bad at relationships. I'm not saying that I'm good at them now, but I used to be terrible. And
Right.
for a very long time, I didn't understand why, considering that everyone around me was just kind of going with the flow, and they seemed to be having a very good time with people. And I was just like, what is going on? Why am I not succeeding?
Right.
So yeah, it started off with frustration when it came to relationships and guys and just dating in general. And then I realized that it's not like a coincidence that I'm so bad at relationships. There was like a lot of mental issues going on. And I was like, okay, I have to do something about it. And after trying to go to therapy and trying to talk to other people about it, I figured out that the best way to do it is to actually help myself. So I decided to start studying these things so I can sort of therapize myself. And as I was doing that, I realized, hold on, I can actually do this for and with other people too. So this is how it kind of all started, but like briefly.
No doubt, no doubt. So basically, a bunch of bullshit relationships in the past. Then you figured out, why am I not connecting with the people I feel like I should be connecting with? And
Exactly.
everybody around you, because you're from Bulgaria, right? Am I saying that
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody around you, they were just having a good time. They were in good relationships. You weren't seeing
Yeah.
like negative relationships around you. It was just like you kept getting yourself stuck in those.
Well, of course, there was like the negative situations in other people's lives too. But for me, it seemed like I vividly remember thinking to myself, so far it's been 100% failure when it comes to my romantic life. And I was like,
Right,
this is not a good thing to realize. You know what I mean? Some
right.
people kind of, every once in a while they kind of get it right, whereas it seemed to me like I didn't. So that was like the problem that sparked the whole thing.
Okay, okay. So then, what came first? Like just a bad relationship, and then you just decided to work on yourself with CBT and everything like that, and then what you just decided, I want to help people, or was that something that's kind of intrinsic in you that you just want to help, you want to contribute?
So, like I said, yeah, I started with the frustration on like an individual personal level. And then actually, I was living in England for a while. So before this whole thing with Girl Next Door and the channel and the psychology began, I was actually working in hospitality for a very, very long time. And this is
Okay.
where I was actually able to observe human nature in a situation with extremely low inhibitions. When alcohol and drugs come into play and money and status and beauty all come to play together, people start acting very weird. So I was starting to pick up on different like patterns of behavior, and it didn't make sense to me. So I was like, okay, let me find out why. So
Right.
through working in hospitality and having the opportunity to sort of observe all of these people and their behaviors, I
Right.
actually learned a few things. And then after that, I got presented with an opportunity to work as a dating coach for men, which was a whole other crazy situation. It was wild in all
Well, how was it
senses of
wild?
the word.
How was it wild?
It's a really weird industry, so to say. So it's more of like the pickup industry rather than the dating industry. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but as a woman in that field, it wasn't fun. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, it wasn't fun. So I
Okay,
stayed
but
there
how
for
did
a bit.
sorry to cut you off, but how did you get there? Like, how did you just stumble upon, I'm gonna help dudes? Like, you're getting fucked over in life, and then you just say, all right, well, I'm just gonna help the dudes out.
Yeah. So
How did
well,
that happen?
It was like a combination of different things. It was like a wild synchronicity, because a bit before that happened, like I said, as I was observing these things happening in my workplace and hospitality at the time, I started asking my Instagram followers random things about relationships. I was just curious. I wanted to know, for example, if people were cheating on each other, why they were doing it and stuff like that. And then a little bit after that, I actually literally stumbled upon the people that invited me to work as a dating coach for men with them. So they sort of trained me and introduced me to the whole thing. And of course, there was like the component of, hey, you look good, why don't you come work for us?
Right.
So, maybe that had a role to play for sure. But I ended up staying there for a while, and I learned a lot of things. I got to speak to so many different people, and yeah, it wasn't for me, but I'm still grateful for the opportunity.
Right. So you learned a lot from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is kind of what sparked the whole desire to help. I wasn't going out of my way to like target men specifically, but this is just what was presented to me at the time. So
Right. Okay. Anything good or bad that you learned from there that you could say that you took with you?
I learned that not all men are the same, which is a very, very common misconception just worldwide. I also learned that there is pure evil out there. And I know this sounds very, it's a big statement to make, but just like any other ideology, it can be very vicious and very dangerous. So, yeah.
Right. Ideologies are very risky. Any
Very.
and every which one. I got you on that.
Totally.
All right. So, hypnotherapy. So, were you just hypnotizing yourself first, or like how did you get into that?
The hypnotherapy stuff is my most recent sort of diploma, so to say. So it's kind of new to me still, but it was very interesting to me because of meditation. So I'm quite like a spiritual person, so to say. I'm very interested in that stuff. So through meditation, I actually got into regression as therapy, just kind of very interested in it. I read a few books and I was like, wow, this is so interesting. And it's not at all what they're presenting it to be. You know how sometimes they do these like shows where they invite someone onto the stage and they hypnotize them and they start like taking their clothes off and all that stuff. And I realized that hypnosis is not about that. It has nothing to do with all this mainstream shit that's being presented. And I think it's a fabulous tool when it comes to healing trauma, or even if you don't want to do that, just a pure relaxation tool. That didn't come out right, but yeah. So yeah, I love it. I just think it's really interesting.
No doubt. So it's not hypnotizing people so they can like act like a chicken. It's to hypnotize them, get them in a certain mode so they can calm their brain down and like probably go to a certain place in their mind that they haven't yet reached or they couldn't reach normally. Right? Is that what?
Yeah, totally. You can't be forced to do something while you're hypnotized that you wouldn't normally do when you're sort of conscious, because you're not really asleep or you're not really awake at the same time. So it's kind of like a middle ground, and it's a really nice place where you relax the body. So the conscious mind is kind of taking a chill. It's kind of chilling for a little bit, and then you can kind of work with what's underneath, and you can heal trauma. You can just resolve stuff. So yeah, I love it.
No doubt. Okay. So I don't know if Bulgaria. I swear I'm saying that wrong myself. If you guys out there celebrate Valentine's Day, but we do over here, do you?
Yeah, we do have it as a sort of a mainstream holiday.
Is it the same day? Is it like a different day? I have no clue.
No,
I'm sorry, I have no clue.
It's the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. Like the stores are already filled with all the pink and red stuff. It's just crazy.
Right, all the things to buy.
Yeah.
So what do you think about romance? Do you think that's a real thing? Do you think that's something that's been passed down through stories, soap operas, novelas, whatever word you want to use for it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, romance is romance. It's a thing for sure. I'm not sure about the romance that we see in movies and, books and songs and stuff like that, especially not on Valentine's Day.
Right. That's sorry to cut you off, but that's what I mean by that. Um,
Yeah.
so you already said basically romance shit that's fake. So
Yeah, it's been
what
watered
is real
down.
romance? What's real romance? Can you explain
Um,
it? Is there a way to explain it?
I don't know, like a combination of intimacy, commitment, passion. I think everyone kind of has a different definition and kind of understands it differently. And, people
Mm.
have spent their, whole careers devoted to the study of love and romance and relationships. So there's so many different ways that you can kind of look at it from. It's
Right.
absolutely there. It absolutely exists. But I think it's been watered down to a point where now the definition of romance and being in love and the feeling of love, which are all different things, have kind of like become this one thing that people really don't understand. So it's not good at this point.
Right. And why do you think that we don't understand it? Like, how did we lose ground on what actually love and romance is and could be?
Well, like I said, a lot of it has to do with social media and just in general the culture that we're sort of living in right now. Um, Also, there's this sort of false assumption of abundance, especially in my generation, the generation afterwards. Yeah, everybody is sort of still living according to the whole "there's a lot of fish in the sea" rule, which is not really true. It's really never been true, but at this moment in time, it's kind of like a mantra. So yeah. By the way, I'm sorry if you hear some crazy noises here. I don't even know what's going on. I'm not even in my own house, so sorry about that.
You're fine.
But yeah, this false idea of abundance is just it's really bad. People are forgetting the most integral part about human nature, which is that you are going to die someday. You don't have unlimited time. And within this small time that you actually have to be free and to choose and to, have some fun and do all that, you actually have to be responsible as well. And you can't just go around and just, live life as if it's never going to end.
Right. Right. Definitely. But what can we do? Do you think there's any way that we can shift or change the narrative around romance, around love? Do you think there's any kind of way out of this
Well,
confusion for everybody?
yeah, I mean, assuming personal responsibility, of course. I think I've always been really scared personally, and I also think that conformity is one of like the worst things ever. So, if people were to take a step back and like really fully take responsibility for their own actions and to realize exactly what they want and stop abiding what others are doing, because I know
Right.
we are like herd species. We like to be a part of the group, but this sort of comfort zone nothing's going to grow there. So personal responsibility, a lot of self-love as well. People have really forgotten about the essence of love, which is that it comes from within. You can't recreate it or give it to someone or even accept it if you don't have it within. So yeah, it's all within you. It all starts with the individual.
No doubt. No doubt. Let me see what I have here. I have some questions here.
Okay.
So what, because that kind of brings me into another question. That's why I was looking for it. It's like a lot of people have been shamed to not like what they intrinsically like. Like if they already love something or they're already attracted to something, they also have to find out, or in their mind they have to like reassure themselves by checking the world, like, I like this, do you like this? And I think people do that a lot with the relationships they're in, the partners that they have. um do you think, how can I word this, do you think that that is something that's premeditated, that's put in through the media, or is that something that we just do on our own?
I think both for sure. When it comes to the way you were raised, of course I'm going to have to raise this question because that's what I'm interested in. That's my field of study. So if you, for example, when you were growing up, you didn't receive the sort of love that is considered normal and the attention that you needed and the emotional support, you are bound to have issues with that as an adult. So, if there's a lot of like self-doubt and lack of confidence and lack of self-value because of these issues, it's for sure going to translate in your relationships. And then on top of that, when you add the culture, especially right now, where consuming love rather than experiencing and giving it and all that stuff, it becomes a really bad cocktail of trauma on top of culture that is traumatized, and it's a bad one.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, let's see what else I have here. I know you're not trying to stay, you have something to do, or the weather's bad over there.
Yeah, we have a storm here. It's really scary,
Okay.
so I'm kind of worried about.
All right, no doubt. I'm not trying to hold you up. We can run through this if we need to. All right. I mean, we kind of did, but all right. So
Well,
not
these are some
talking
really
about.
good questions.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, I took a little time to write them down. It's a bunch of scribble, but there's questions there.
Nice. You came
Yeah,
prepared.
of course. I'll feel crazy if I didn't. Anyway, not talking about being friend zoned, but why do you think people are so against actually letting themselves fall in love with somebody that they deem as a friend or they knew for a long time?
I think there's this sort of notion where people, the question of like, can men and women, for example, in a heterosexual scenario, can they be friends? And I think this question has been around for so many years now, and people still don't have a solid answer. But men and women are naturally supposed to be able to be friends. So if, for example, when you were a child, you haven't managed to see the parental figure of the opposite sex as a normal person, a normal individual, not as like a godlike father or mother, you are probably going to have an issue with being friends with the opposite sex as an adult. So this sort of thing kind of happens in childhood, in my opinion. And I absolutely think men and women are supposed to be able to be friends. Above all else, we're all humans. So it's just sort of like a natural thing. So I don't know why people find it so hard to mix friendship with love. I think they're like scared they're going to ruin it, and then I would say they have a wrong definition of what a relationship is actually all about and love is all about. Because if you don't have that component of friendship, then what is the foundation really? Where is the foundation? So yeah.
Right.
What do you think? Do you think can men and women be friends?
Oh, definitely. Right now, I'm dating like one of my best friends, like the girl that I'm with right now, which I love, and like she. Thinking today, I was gonna talk about certain things today, and I was just thinking about it today. I didn't tell her this either. She's in the other room. I was like about to cry, so I was like, all right, I'm not. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about that, like, because she did a lot for me. You know what I mean? She made sure that I understood that my words. You're fine.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It happens. She made sure that my words. She made sure that I knew that my words meant something, and that I was of value. Even though I've done such like a lot of things, and I had highs, I've had lows. I was in a place. I was in a place where. Oh
my God! I'm so sorry. Right. Let me try and stop it somehow. Oh my goodness. Oh God. Right. Do you know what? I'm just gonna move to another room. Just give me 1 second. I'm so sorry about that.
You're fine. I don't know what's going on over there, but that sounds weird.
Oh gosh. Right. Okay. Once again, I am really sorry. This is not my home. I don't know what's going on. Okay, cool.
All right, so yeah, basically she just was there for me, and she bigged me up, and she's been a big support in my life beforehand, and of course now. And all I try to do is be the same for her. You get what I'm saying? And that's the best we can do. And like, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what happens, but like right now, we have our fights, we have our disagreements, but we get to sit and talk. I never
Yeah.
had that before, like where you actually sit and talk and both people are listening and both people, like sometimes we talk over each other, that's normal, but like to actually come to a common ground and to be like, yeah, you're right, yeah, I was doing that, sorry, like I fucked up. Like just to be able to do that on that level is like it should be a value in a relationship, and I think
100%.
that has to do with being friends with people. If you're not friends with anyone, if you're just looking at her like she's hot, I like to bang her, then how you gonna be able to navigate when things don't go your way or things don't go her way? It's
Totally.
just all over the
Yeah.
place. And that's what I push. I push like turn to that friend that you like, that you
Mm-hmm.
fronting that you don't like, or that you're scared to date because you don't want to hurt them, or you think that that might hurt you because you're so
Mm-hmm.
close to them. No, that's
Yeah.
probably the person. That's probably the
Yeah.
person, or at least for now or for that moment, that's probably the person for you.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
for sure. I think the only like sensitive moment is when two people meet and they sort of start talking and getting to know each other and stuff like that. And for example, this was like a huge deal when I used to work in the dating slash pickup industry. So
Right.
when a man and a woman meet and they start talking and dating and stuff like that, if they don't proceed to the next level, like a more romantic level, at the right time, this is where like the dreaded friend zone begins, because there is a moment after which she no longer sort of sees you as a potential boyfriend, and she only sees you as a friend. But I think that if you're already friends and if you've been friends for a while and you sort of have that bond already, it's much easier to cross that line if you already have that foundation. But if you're just now building it, I think it's a little bit different.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that because like after a certain moment, the girl's probably like, this is just me mansplaining. The girl's probably like, oh, what the fuck are you waiting for? And you're probably a little bit of a pussy or a bitch because you're not stepping up to the plate, motherfucker. Like you're supposed to
Yeah.
step up, right? And you're not stepping up, and you're kind of. But in this day and age, the problem that I think we're having and why people most likely are lonely is because the guys are scared to step up because society has told you to not really step up like that. Wait, hold up, you're being too aggressive, you got to fall back. So then like you get to a certain point where you're just all the way back, your hands are in your pockets, you ain't even talking, like I don't want to say nothing wrong here.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that, although of course we need some type of equality between men and women, we're not equal, and we need to be able to flourish in the
Yeah.
in the ways that seem natural to us. You know what I mean?
Totally, yeah. And I really like what you said there, because as a fellow YouTuber, you know how weird YouTube is about these things, and
Right.
how if you have this sort of opinion, chances of getting like censored or shadow banned or whatever people like to call it are very high. I've had like my own comments on my own videos deleted because I said
Yeah.
something similar to what you said. That men have taken a step back, way back, to a point of like they're like crippled with this sort of fear of being rejected, or this anxiety and stuff like that. And when I worked in that other industry, this was a huge deal. It was neurotic almost. So yeah, it's a big
100%.
one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, lucky for me, as of right now, I can care less what the algorithms are. I'm not making any money from this. If people want to contribute, donate, I got the link. But it's not like I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh, I need to monetize this.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'm too small, and second of all, I don't want to play by the rules. I'm a little bit of that, I'm a little bit on
Yeah.
that side. I'm a little bit of a rebel on that behalf. I'm not trying to play by your rules because your
Yeah.
rules is like you're making me lie. You're making me
Mm-hmm.
fake because I got to play by what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
No, like this is what this is for. So I'm always try to give it a pushback until, they
Mm-hmm.
either cancel me, be like, fuck this guy's account, boop, press the
Yeah.
button on
Yeah.
me, and then I'll probably start another one. It wasn't like I had that many people and I can reach out to everybody. It doesn't fucking matter to
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
as it stands today. But talk to me in a couple years. If the shit got a little bigger, you probably gonna be like, I'm bleep, a bleep, I bleep. Yeah, so
I feel you. Yeah.
yeah. Uh okay. So I think we kind of like did pretty good. We rushed through most of it, but it was a good conversation. I don't want to hold you up. We can do this again. You know what I mean? I appreciate you
Totally.
having me. I mean,
Thank
have
you.
you coming through.
Yeah,
I said
thank you.
that backwards.
Typically, I'm the one interviewing people, so I feel like really, I'm probably really anxious on camera or stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, and sorry for having to rush through these questions. The weather is unpredictable. I'm not in my own house, so yeah. But it was a pleasure. Thank you so much once again.
Not a problem. Not a problem. All right. Thanks everybody in the chat that came through, that put a little comment up, up in the chat. Please leave a comment. Press all the buttons. Subscribe, like, press all the damn buttons. And I love you. Thank you for your time and attention. Shamanic Poe, Girl Next Door Concept, Street Shaman
Bye.
Podcast, and we out.